What's up, guys? I'm going to be starting a potential series of shorter form videos of how to deal with difficult tank matchups as Hog, of course. Um, Maybe I'll get around to doing it in competitive if I feel compelled to play it again. Funny story that this is the first season I played competitive in like I don't know, like over a year maybe. So I started my placements in like Plat 5, I think. I'm currently M2 at like 90% or something. I have, I don't know exactly because unfortunately my win rate's been tarnished, for lack of a better term, from playing open queue, right? The matchmaking there is just significantly worse. It's a little beside the point. Um, but it's probably like 75 to 85%, maybe, probably 80% is probably my best guess of what it is exactly. I've lost one game in Master so far. Maybe I'll feel compelled to just officially push into GM again, even though it's like honestly, it's just kind of yeah, I don't know. I just don't really feel like it, quite frankly. Anyways, it's a little beside the point. When I do these, I'll at least ensure that like the opposing tank right is like decent, right? So like this guy was at GM like 3 or 4, I think. He fortunately for me mostly played Mauga. Um, I think most of his teammates were like Master or above. I think the Anna was GM too, so yeah, it's a little beside the point. Like everyone here is at least decent, except I think my life weaver is kind of bad. Like I don't know what he was. He was probably like plaid or something like that. But I'll just like kind of walk you through my thought process, specifically in the matchup, right? And like, um, yeah. So first fight, nothing really important happens. We like team wipe them, and their tank literally just walks back into spawn and swaps Mauga. Um, right. So yeah, not much to say here. Like they're just waiting for their tank to walk back. So. Okay, here I see that they're on Mauga. Obviously, I see they swapped to Ana as well. I think they're on Moira or something. So this is like already not a particularly fun comp to play into. Um, like Ana Mauga is just kind of annoying, especially when they have like Nano. There's literally nothing I can do about it. I guess just for starters, against Mauga, you basically just want to ignore him as much as possible, right? The exception is if you have a team that can blow them up really well. So I wouldn't say this team comp is particularly good at that, right? Like basically it's just the Sojourn that can blow them up, right? Like Yari's damage is too low. Weaver just like sucks at doing damage and healing, especially if I'm playing Hog and Amalga, right? Like you just can't. He doesn't have enough downtime to effectively do damage. Amalga just runs too fast for him to like actually do damage against. Um, Whatever Vendetta is kind of like whatever. Yeah, so I would not say this is like particularly good for me to like hook the Mauga on cooldown because we don't have like a Zen, no Ana, no Reaper, um, no Kiriko or something along those lines, right? That can like kind of deny his value or like actually make him scared to push forward, right? Um, Basically just me and the Sojourn, right? So basically early fight, if he's overextended away from his team, right, or he doesn't have his charge or his cardiac for some reason really early, I'll hook him out of position because he actually can die in those positions. But when the team fight actually has begun, you really want to try to ignore him as often as possible because if he pops cardiac in the middle of your team, and you have no cover to play around, he just literally will heal like if he's getting looked at by support like seriously like 300 health per second, basically be unkillable because you'll be doing 0 damage, right? Because if you shoot him, you'll just die. I mean, it's kind of that simple. Um, so yeah, like kind of staging, you can force him far away from his team into your team's LOS, so he's forced to charge out. And sometimes, if you bait cardiac, right, you just LOS cardiac for 3 seconds, and then if he tries to charge away or something, just hook him back in your team, and he can very easily die without cardiac, right? Even if like your team comp isn't ideal, like my team comp is like I explained, not ideal into him. But unless you're on like Moira, Mercy, like I don't know, Genji Tracer, which is like I'd honestly recommend swapping off Hog if your team's just gonna rock that, right? Or something comparable to that, right? Maybe it's not realistic, higher elo, it's not gonna happen really, but yeah, like if your team is just 0 damage per second, you basically can't interact with Mauga, and he gets permanently charged into your team, right? And it's literally impossible on flat maps, right? You can get away with it on maps like this, like Stark High Grounds, just because you can ignore him more easily. But on like close range maps, flat maps, he can just charge into you, and like there's literally nothing you can do, right? He uses better mobility, better numbers. Um, And like you can only play cover so well sometimes if your team comp is just like awful into him, right? Yeah, in general, I think Mauga, if your team comp is just bad into him, is by far the worst tank to play into because he just stat checks you really really hard, and you can't avoid him. Like you can avoid Orisa usually, but you just can't avoid Mauga. But that's like not realistically gonna happen too often, right? Because like your team, uh, assumedly does not want to lose the game, right? Even if you swap tanks, like you just don't want a bad comp to do with the enemy team tank, right? So yeah, a little beside the point. So basically, right, early fight try to hook him away from his team, force out cooldowns, right? Depending on what his team is, right? Like he doesn't have speed, so they're gonna have a hard time coming in if I hook him early. And try to force cooldowns. Mid fight, just ignore him as well as you can. Keep rotating away from him and look to hook his backline, right? And try obviously to bait him away from his team, right, out of LOS of his supports, and try to always play around covers. Like for example, on like this point, like honestly, like your options aren't that great. You just have to kind of play far away from him. But I can play around the car, I can rotate around like this area here. I can potentially rotate around like the dumpster or something like this. If the fight's actually started, right? But I like on this point, quite frankly, I just have to like do something before he swings point, right? I get cooldowns out before he swings point, right? So yeah, basically the gist of it, right? Yeah, not much to say here, right? Because nothing's really happened. Still in the poking phase. You can see a good thing on this map, right? Because they have to clear this high ground, and since they don't have real vertical mobility, my hit scans can kind of put in work here, right? Which kind of gives me leeway to kind of like play a bit forward and like create a crossfire this way, right? So they are either forced to like run it down main into my, hit scans up top, or they can come over here and deal with me in the vent, right? Like, I saw the Ana use nade, right? So I don't have to worry super much about this, right? You see she still has 8 seconds, and of course they don't have any ults quite yet. So I can afford to play forward, right? Because, like, they can't really kill me quite yet. Just because my Life Weaver also has his life grip, and they don't have the nade, so realistically I'm not going to die here. Unfortunate hook break, right? Denying the angle here. I see the Mauga charges in, right? I see the Mercy's with him, so I don't have to like worry about res. So I just try to hook him out of position early. Because I know the Ana is still playing far back, because I saw her through the car. Or saw her over the car, I should say. So like, I don't really have to worry about her like swinging the corner and like sleeping me and like, getting nade back in time. So here I'm rotating high ground, because I see the Mauga is kind of like staging here, even though he's down one. And of course, like on the time that he's staging here, my team picks the Mercy because she's just like flying around in the air for no reason. But I do this because like if the Mauga is gonna sit down here, I'm gonna try to like, and like the enemy team last saw me here. I was originally gonna try to come up here to get the Mercy, right? Because I can't interact with the Ana, right? Like that's kind of the big problem right now. She's too far away, so my thinking was I'd come up here and potentially, try to hook the Mercy or come over here, right, and try to like sneak attack like the Mauga or something where he can't really chase me super well. Because if he pushes main, he just gets blown up by the people that just turn around for him. And obviously, if I like hear him charge in, I can just sit in the staircase and like deal with him that way. And it just so happens he charges up here when he's down 2. So you notice I literally do not shoot him until basically I can guarantee my shots will do maximum damage, right? Of course, like when he's already low, you can just hook him and kill him, right? Because you will kill him through burst damage. And just like stopping him from shooting you for even like a second just through the hook stun is valuable close range, just so he doesn't get that huge burst of healing, right? So here, obviously going for it, looking for staggers. I think I was having internet issues right there. My hook just did not come out. Oh well, it is what it is, right? Yeah, hook this guy early. You see this works because they don't have speed again, right? You see the Ana on the walk up. I lost Sara around this this blue car. So you see when the Mauga gets hooked here, do you see how far away I already am? And the time the Ana takes to walk up, so I'm in no danger of like getting spammed with cooldowns, right? So and now I force out his his overdrive, or cardiac overdrive, I think it's called, and which is the most dangerous thing to me. And he tries to like trade onto my Ven, and she dodges it, and she also eats an aid, which gives me a free opportunity just to come in and just kill him, right? Because he has 0 cooldowns right now, right? Yeah, so free opportunity to do all that stuff. Even if I get slept there, I'm gonna live. Yeah, he just gets back his charge when he dies. And my Soge, like, fortunately, like, probably didn't need to overclock there, but free fight win. She does. Just, yep, going in to deny res, so, yep. Honestly, here, I thought the Ana died. Oops. Yeah, that's my mistake, so. We get her, anyways. I figured I'd try to, play forward to stop res, because, like, they haven't made any swaps, so I don't really have to be too worried, right? That's why I'm not hooking, like, I hook here because I can get him around the corner, and at this point, like, their Ana is, like, already respawned, so, like, I don't have to worry about res anymore. So, just trying to force out cooldowns. Here, I thought he, trapped my, Ven, so I was gonna pop the, cage just to save my Ven. I'm, like, 99% sure. It's hard to keep track of this stuff sometimes when you pause so long. Right, see, I see he uses a, shout here. Right, so I can hook him again without worrying, right? Use it 12, it's a pretty lengthy cooldown. You see, I actually, if you use a stun at the very beginning of his charge, you actually will, I guess, cancel it, right? So you can see, like, the first half second that he uses his charge, you can hook him. You see, now he has 0 cooldowns, I just walk into him. Big thing, if Mauga has overdrive, literally do not engage with him, even with ult, because, like, with the knockback he takes, he actually will out damage and out heal you, even if you ult him, right? So, especially when he, like, solo ult you, if you have ult and he has overdrive, just shoot the cage to escape. Otherwise, you can kill him inside of it, right? Of course, it depends if anyone else is shooting you and what the exact situation is. But yeah, basically, if he ever has overdrive, don't engage, right? I'm like 99% sure that Ana has her cooldowns here, so yeah, I can't like wide swing that corner and try to like go for a hook in the open because like their tank's gonna be back soon, and like if I get that slept and aided out there, I'm just gonna die, right? So here I go for a flank here because I just don't expect it, right? And I see the Mauga at the same time is charging out spawn, right? I guess I don't catch it. I probably heard it or something, right? Which gives me the opportunity to do that, and I also saw that their Ana was like, hold on. Their Ana was also hiding here, right? Last time I saw her. And chances are she's not going to just like, run in the open back to spawn or anything, or just like give up this position for no reason. Because she was like perfectly safe here. Like it's very unlikely she's just gonna like walk out here for no reason and then just like stare up top. Because like realistically that's not gonna happen. And obviously they don't expect it here. And fortunately they swap. Well, fortunately for this exact moment, they swap off of Mercy, right? But unfortunately, like this makes it way harder because now they have speed, so it makes it even harder for me to avoid the Mauga, right? So, not a good swap for me personally. Right, I'd rather play in a Mercy, Mercy Mauga than Juno Mauga. It's way harder to avoid. So here, right, they're pushing without a DPS, so I'm just gonna keep like abusing the fact that they're going too early and abusing the fact that they have to look high ground to clear these people. To my advantage to like stop them from coming in from the short angle, right? Yep. I see that Ana's weak, and I try to hook her and kill her, but unfortunately the Mauga gets in the way. So I'm like 99% sure he uses his over. No, he did not. Okay, that's good from him. But regardless, unfortunately, like I probably should have kept better track that they had Nano, but I got too greedy because I saw that Ana was weak. Yeah, probably should have been playing further back. Unfortunately, we're also in a position to use our tree and our pool, but the Life Weaver just does not for some reason. He pulls me at 90 HP, and then uses a tree when it's over, right? So, oh well. I mean, we just have, quite frankly, a kind of weak support ult, and yeah. Not much to say here. We try to recontest. Probably shouldn't have, right? We just don't have speed, so yeah. Yep. Say Hog is like impossible to recontest versus this team comp, right? Like I just get slept naded and the Mauga just does like 200 damage per second, and like I can't even escape because they have speed. So they just have to use like all their cooldowns for me to get out. Unfortunate. I know he doesn't have his overdrive quite yet. So I say that because I saw he used Cage on my DPS, and that's how he killed my Surge. Right, biggest threat, the Ana. Gotta get her out of there. Not actively getting healed, so I'm just gonna take cover for a second. Right, wait for my hook to come back. Can't get her, barely miss out on the kill. No Ana yet, so I'm just gonna rotate over, right? Again, like I said, abusing high grounds is like crucial against Mauga because he doesn't have vertical mobility, right? And you still have the capability of just like insta-killing people on the floor because your range is just like obviously 20 meters, right? I mean, Mauga's is like effectively 30, but he's not one-shotting people, right? So it's kind of not relevant, right? As long as you don't sit in the open. Right, just controlling this high ground and forcing them in this bad position where they're kind of like in a shooting gallery is what you need to do. Right. So I see this guy's coming up, right? I see he uses all of his cooldowns here. So like, even though he's like using overdrive right now, right? I'm kind of like stalling a second of it by hooking him, and right, you can see he's isolated from his team, right? Like I saw this guy didn't come up with him, and I knew that Ana wasn't there because obviously she couldn't. I didn't see her in the rotation, and I know someone's pushing cart, and I don't know where the other support is, but my point is this guy is completely alone in the middle of 4 people, and he will actually just die. Okay, I don't know why my life weaver's on the floor. That's a little beside the point. Yeah, it was my point is this guy is in the middle of 4 people, so even if he's shooting me, he will die because he's not getting healed by anyone else, especially because I'm cutting out, you know, approximately like a second of his overdrive, right? So you see, he's still losing HP even though he's shooting me there, right? Just because he's in the middle of my entire team. And he gets nanoed here, which is like perfectly fine for me, right? Because he's already used all of his cooldowns. So he's like not really a threat, right? His team also can't follow up on it. Right, so I see that Ana uses nade. Unfortunately, I can't do anything because the Mauga is just doing like 300 damage per second to me, right? So rotate cart, get the guy in cart. Really, I'm just primarily just trying to avoid this guy, right? I know he has overdrive again. A good tip for Hog is like basically every other hook, right? People have their big cooldowns again, right? So usually like big cooldowns are like 12 to 14 seconds, and small cooldowns are like 6-ish, right? So like Mauga's charge is like 5. His overdrive is like 12 or 14. I don't know exactly what it is. Let me look. 12. Okay, so yeah, so hook's obviously 6 seconds, right? And obviously there's a bit of timing problems because it starts. Well, yeah, I don't want to get too into the details. It starts when it like finishes, right? If that makes sense. The hook cooldown is starting to refresh when when the cooldown is actually over, right? So when it's no longer active. So, but that's a good rule of thumb. So like I used 2 hooks, right? One to force out his overdrive originally, one to get the cast, right? I kill him before the hook connects, but that's a little beside the point, right? So I know my hook's back online now. You know, about to be, I should say, and like I know he has shout again, so I'm not gonna peek him. I'll let my team deal with him, right? Like I kind of did my job of focusing or eating all the focus of the nano, as well as all the Mauga's focus, and picking off a DPS, like kind of what I was saying, right? Using verticality to my advantage, and just trying to ignore him as much as possible. And just trying to break LOS of him and his supports, especially because they have like speed and nade and sleep, right? So like it's dangerous for me. Yeah, and letting my team deal with him for the most part, right? So, and it works out, right? Okay, do not expect her there. Doesn't matter. I don't play with a headset, so like I can't really hear some characters. I mean, I don't expect them just run in like that, right? I'm already like predicting to like pre-hook that corner, and he just like walks in the open anyway. So well, okay, I missed. Back to high ground, right? I see my Yari's in, right? Using ult. This guy is isolated, right? I pull him over here, which isolates him, and he's hit by the sun. So I know he's gonna be forced to overdrive or die. In principle, my life weaver should still have pull. So like, as long as I isolate him from his supports, right? You see the Ana can't have an angle on me, and yeah, like I should be okay to live here as long as I force out overdrive. Again, right? This is a huge bait by me, right? He doesn't have overdrive, and I have my ult, so he just loses to it. Unfortunately, I get pulled. Doesn't matter. I just drop back down and kill him, right? So that only works, right? Because I played on my team's engagement there, forced baited him into using his overdrive because he got hit by the ER ult. Right, and I baited him out of the support of his team's support LOS, right? So. Yep, obviously get a team kill here. I really shouldn't be doing this, but whatever. I don't really care. Okay, they swapped to the cat instead of Ana, which is probably better for me, especially they can't off-map me here. And like, the cat can drop the Mauga into the middle of our team, but like, it's just so much faster than the rest of his team that he's just gonna die. Anyway, so. Unfortunately, I don't know that Mauga gets hit here. If I knew he gets hit, I hook him. Unfortunately, I expected that to one-shot the Anna, and now they just come in with a ton of ults, and like I just kind of can't do anything. I expected him to be weak still. Unfortunately, he was not. So yeah, I just kind of die here. I really just should have gone back high ground. Oh well. Yeah, I decided to challenge Amalga for some reason. I mean, there was a reason. I didn't expect him to be full HP again. I mean, it's kind of that simple. He didn't have an Ana anymore. I also kind of got like surprised I didn't just one-shot the Anarin. I knew they had ults. I knew they had ult advantage because we just used ults last fight and they didn't. So like I really expected, or I wanted to play for the flank play also because I know they didn't have the Ana anymore. So like I was less liable to dying. Yeah. So I figured I'd just get rid of like one of the people with ults in their team and we'd have a better position to win the fight. So unfortunately that did not happen. I just mess up my mechanics. You're right, I know it's last fight territory. Getting out his cooldowns early. Kind of get lucky, but maybe that cast would kill me, but I know at this point he doesn't have his fan the hammer anymore, so. Yep. Again, just trying to run away from this guy as often as possible, right? Yeah, so. Yeah, so in closing, right? Basically, if it's early fight, you can try to force him away from his team, right? And force out cooldowns and just like use your advantage afterwards to like kill him. Basically, pull him into your team. And mid fight, just ignore him as much as possible, right? Like he just stat checks you super hard. Yeah, and use high grounds to your advantage is best, right? Like at least with Orisa, if you just play like wide angles on Orisa, right, like far away from her, she can't really close the distance super well, right? Like she doesn't really have mobility. That's not the case with Mauga, which is why it's super important to play vertical. Obviously that helps a lot against Orisa too. Well, I don't know, because she does have spear, but it's a little beside the point. I just like look to pick off his back line and isolate him into breaking corners around from his supports, right? Just so he can't get pocketed super hard, especially when they make swaps like Ana and Juno, which can like dump a lot of resources into him and like really help him win the game, right? So yeah, like if you just take an even fight against him, you kind of lose. So yeah, just keep those things in mind, right? You can see if you just like let your team deal with him, right, and don't take the aggression from him and like just waste his time, you can still play in Mauga, right? Like, assuming your team isn't like on some sort of troll comp. Yeah. Of course, against his ult, if he doesn't have overdrive, you can just ult him, but otherwise just break the cage and run out of it yourself because you just lose the engagement to him when he has overdrive. Yeah, unless it's like some 1 out of 100 really enclosed area, or you can just like push him off the map somehow if he just drops a cage in like an awkward spot. Yeah, okay. If anyone has any further questions in the matchup, right? I guess if you're dealing with people or you have your stack, have someone go like on support in particular. Have someone go like Kiri, probably the best support in Mauga. Obviously, like Lucio, Zen, Ana, Juno also help, right? You get speed, and you get anti-nades, or anti sleep and Discord from like um, Zen and Ana, and obviously like the speed helps you just ignore more easily, right? DPS, I guess probably Reaper's good into them. A fair amount of hit scans are good into them too, right? Like basically anyone that's not Bastion, I guess, or Cass, probably kind of terrible into Mauga too. Maybe terrible is the wrong word. But I will say with Cass, at least you can like hook him into your cast and he can like block the charge away with his hinder, right? So yeah, I mean a little beside the point, but yeah, kind of closing remarks there. Hope this helps someone. If you have any further questions, feel free to ask.